Cocoon to Bloom. My name is Kylie, I'm one of the podcast hosts.
And my name is Abby.
And I'm so excited for this episode because it's been a long time since we've recorded together. You've heard from both of us. A lot of Abby, but both of us on individual occasions. And today we're gathering together to have a little chat about intuition versus anxiety.
Yes. And you came up with this idea. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's so perfect because I feel like it's very relevant in both of our lives. And it's always relevant because it's so confusing, especially when you have a hard time trusting yourself.
Yeah, it can be confusing, especially as an overthinker. Like, there are times where I sit here and I wonder, is this my intuition or is this my anxiety? And so we're going to get down to the nitty gritty and talk about how we can tell between the two. I think for me, even sometimes it's so hard. I'm learning at improving this. What, is this like a muscle?
Mm-hmm.
Take a muscle we can improve.
Your intuition and listening to it.
We're strengthening. So it's definitely still in progress. But what do we do about that? How can we tell the difference? So what is intuition?
I think intuition is quiet, calm, and simple, whereas anxiety is loud, fast, and it like spirals kind of out of control, and it just grows like bigger and bigger, and it keeps adding. For example, like you keep thinking of new questions, like what if this goes wrong, or what if this goes wrong, and it just like turns into a huge messy ball. Right. Whereas I feel like intuition is just there, and it's not overpowering, it's not overwhelming, and it's just even if something's off, it can feel grounding.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I feel like for me, the biggest tell of intuition is that peaceful feeling. Like there's not constant overthinking that happens based on that one feeling itself. It just kind of is there, and I'm like, I wonder about that. Mm-hmm. It feels more peaceful and quiet and gentle.
Yeah.
Whereas if I know I have anxiety about something, I can't stop thinking about it. I'm imagining all the different ways that it could play out, not in my favor.
Yeah. And anxiety is kind of like, I need to do something, like something, I need to do something about this, but you can't quite figure out what it is you need to do. Whereas I feel like with intuition, it's like a yes or no. It's like this path or this path.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Right.
Instead of like,
And I feel like it's also kind of an in the moment thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like anxiety for me, it's like a lingering thought. It's like something that creeps up and stays for a while. Whereas intuition is like a momentary feeling of doing something or of going a certain direction, and it feels like a gentle, like just in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like intuition kind of like, I wrote down like something feels off or go this way instead, and I think it's just a knowing, not like a long explanation,
right.
Like a bunch of parts playing into it. Right. Just like, yeah.
Or I wouldn't even, knowing, yes, and also I think maybe even a little bit of curiosity. Like I'm looking at my life the past little bit, the last couple months I've been on a lot of road trips and traveling around a lot, and I don't really have a plan with all of it. It's very spontaneous, and then I'll have like a moment or a day where I have this feeling of going to a new place or trying something specific about that, and I just am like, okay, well, I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm gonna go for it, and then I end up going down that path from that intuitive feeling that I had, and it ends up being so beautiful. But don't get me wrong, I feel like anxiety can creep around, even if you do make a decision based on intuition. Like if you feel an intuitive feeling about something and you make that choice to go down a path, that anxiety can still follow you through it. And that's why I wanted to talk about intuition versus anxiety, because knowing what's following your intuition continuously down that road versus letting the anxiety take over once you've like taken action towards it, that's where it gets me too.
Yeah. And I just want to point out, you have been trusting your intuition these past months like a lot. Like you've been relying on it, and I think that it's worked out great for you.
I had no choice.
Like yeah, but like everything that you have done kind of turned out as a win, whether in the moment, even if it didn't feel like a win. Right. You learned something, you gained something, you had like beautiful experiences because you trusted your intuition and didn't let yourself like spiral.
Yeah.
Like you knew you could handle it because you always do.
I
So you,
Thanks for seeing
yeah, I'm
that.
like, wait, you're really good at this, actually.
Thank you for seeing that. I've been
Yeah.
practicing a lot. I feel like I've been pretty intentional with it a lot the
Yeah.
last little bit. And something that can tie into this is fear. Like letting yourself feel the fear as you move towards that intuitive feeling as well, because that's not to say just because it's like that gentle inner guidance of where you should be going doesn't mean that it's not going to be like an easy breeze, no fear attached kind of thing.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't
so,
make
like,
it easy.
You might be scared of what your intuition is telling you, but it's telling you something because you're strong enough to handle it and you're capable of facing that fear and maneuvering towards whatever that inner feeling is guiding you to.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about it, like one is trying to protect you and one is trying to control you. For example, intuition protects you. You know, your body is always looking out for you and your body knows before your mind does. But anxiety is just trying to control you. And it kind of just like, when I get super anxious, I kind of just go into autopilot and I'm not even like in my own body. I'm just freaking out. Like sometimes I'll just be pacing and I can't even think straight because there are so many things. I just feel like I'm being taken over by something else.
Yeah. So that's like a very obvious sign too. Like if you notice your body panicking with something, like let's say you're trying to make a decision and you can't decipher which way you're supposed to go, and you decide to start walking away based on all of the thoughts telling you what your thoughts are saying inside of your head, and your body is just like in a state of panic, likely you're moving with the anxiety rather than the intuition. Because it makes such a big physical appearance. Like I get shaky, I get fidgety, I like feel a lot in my body when I am moving with anxiety.
Same. And I think slowing down and like taking a moment to feel how your body feels when you're trying to decipher which it is, because anxiety will feel tight and overwhelming, and like you said, like jittery, tense, like my muscles like tense up really bad. But intuition is calm, and I don't think it like makes a crazy statement in your body.
No, it's gentle.
Yeah.
It's more peaceful.
Whereas anxiety is like, something's wrong.
Set me alarm!
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, obviously, not every case is like intense anxiety like that, so it is hard. That's why it's hard to like choose.
It can be so tricky to decipher between the two, or to tell the difference with them. Like, I have to write about it sometimes because I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
And I think a lot of the times we confuse these two because sometimes if you've been dismissed in the past, like if you knew something is wrong and you spoke up and said something and someone was like, no, you're overthinking, or they kind of just like brushed you off, that can cause a lot of trust issues within yourself. And then it's hard because you're like, am I just overthinking? Am I being crazy? And it's hard to know when people have like told you that your whole life.
Dude, it is so hard to like rewire your brain to not believe that you're crazy when you've gone through so many experiences and had that like implanted into you and embedded into like your system and like the way that your brain works.
Yeah.
You're not crazy. And there's been a lot of times actually looking back in my experiences where there have been things that I'm like, I have this gut feeling about it, but then I'm like, no, I'm probably crazy, I'm probably overthinking, and then I come to find out, no, my gut feeling was right. Like whatever that feeling is that you just can't get rid of, it's not in my mind, it's more so just like a gut feeling. That's your intuition, like that's your inner guidance. If it's my mind, I feel like that's me, that's my ego trying to control, like you said, control the situation. And me like having a thought, like maybe anxiety is totally like ego led and intuition is soul led. So I think that also the way that you live your life, the daily things that you decide to do, will help you either be more in tune with your intuition or closer to anxiety, based on if you're living solely through ego, or maybe a combination of ego and soul, or maybe you're more soulful so your intuition is louder. I think that the things that you do throughout your day could definitely play into your ability to see the difference between anxiety and intuition within yourself.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I like that. It's that it's anxiety is ego led.
I mean, like, it makes so much sense. That
It
totally
does.
just came up into my brain right now.
Yeah.
But I was like, actually, because the whole control about it. Like, it totally is. Anxiety is our need to control external environments.
Yeah.
And so maybe if what you're going for is trying to achieve something from the outside, that's another sign, that's anxiety. And if you're trying to do something that's control from the inside, maybe that's more intuition too. I mean, use your discernment depending on the situation.
No, I really like
I feel
that.
like I'll always say that though.
Yeah. And I think also like working on regulating your nervous system, because sometimes I am just anxious and there's not like a reason, I'm just like anxious.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to do things to like bring down my stress, bring down my anxiety, and in doing those things, like you were saying, it really does help, because then you can discern better what's happening. But if you're always anxious, it's hard to like even feel your intuition.
Really. One thing that I was going to say about it, if you decide to start taking action towards what your intuition is telling you and you notice the anxiety coming up, don't beat yourself up about it, because it makes so much sense for it to be there. Like, that is so normal for the fear as you're walking into an unknown situation to be present, for those anxious thoughts to come in while you're going after achieving what your higher self is guiding you towards. It's probably gonna terrify the shit out of you. And maybe not always, but sometimes it might. And so be gentle with yourself through the process, and know that it's just because you made a decision based on your intuition, doesn't mean that it's just gonna be like simple. But also know that you are gonna be able to make it through, and just be proud of yourself for showing up in it, and trust that the more that you progress through it, the more you're going to be able to trust your intuition, the more you're going to be able to trust in the universe, the more that things are just going to be able to flow. So give yourself some grace when it does appear, because it will.
Yeah, you should absolutely not feel guilty for having anxiety, because it is a normal human response, and it is there to protect us. And sometimes you do listen to your anxiety, and you should listen to it sometimes.
I think, like, be aware of it. Like,
yeah,
it's there for a reason. It's trying to tell you something. So let yourself know, okay, there's something that seems dangerous, but also give yourself the reassurance that you're going to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. And you were saying that like anxiety is ego led, and I think that's very interesting, because I wrote down under like the anxiety that you kind of find yourself thinking, what if something goes wrong, and what if they don't like me? And then versus the intuition, it's just something feels off, or let's go this way instead. And so I was reading that, I'm like, wow, that's like, those are two very clear different things. Like anxiety is like, oh, what are people gonna think? And then this one is just like, something's not right.
Yo, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, the perspective on the outcome of the situation is very different from an intuition based and an ego based.
Yeah.
Like, intuition led, you're gonna think of all the ways it could go wrong, of how it's gonna fall apart, of how it might hurt you, of the struggles you're gonna face. Intuition, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds so exciting. What about this? What about this? And more of like a curiosity,
like excitement, like let's see what happens.
Excitement, curiosity, rather than like,
oh god, what's
definite
gonna happen?
Play out situations.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think that's so interesting.
I do too. I love that you brought that up.
Yeah.
So I actually have a real life example of this. I've had this feeling to go out to Oregon, to go on a road trip out there. I've been travel dancing, talked a little bit about that in one of our previous episodes. And I've gone on a few different solo trips, and I love it. I love going on the road alone. There's not really much about it that scares me or puts me in my head. But I had this feeling, Oregon, I just could not stop thinking about it. I put it in my bucket list. I thought about it almost every day. I was like, you know what, I'll make it happen. So I planned out my trip to go to Oregon. The anxiety that I felt on this trip was by far the worst anxiety that I have ever felt going anywhere alone. And it also felt like such an intuition-based go. Like, it was my intuition telling me, go to Oregon, go dance in Oregon, make this trip happen, go explore. But I was so anxious the whole entire time the intuitive feeling about going, that was exciting.
Yeah.
That had me curious about the adventures I was gonna go on, and the ways that I was gonna learn about myself, the ways that I was gonna get to show up for myself on this trip. When I was there, the anxiety was like, how's this gonna play out? How's this gonna play out? Oh my gosh, this has to happen, and this has to happen. And so I think the outcome of it, the perspective that the outcome is based on it, will definitely tell you anxiety or intuition. And there were things on this trip that I wanted to do that I felt like were intuition based. And I wasn't overthinking it. I wasn't in my head analyzing every little way that it could go. And I don't know, I trusted my intuition for something. A lot of anxiety came with it, but it ended up being one of the most beautiful experiences and trips that I have been on personally. And I got to see things in such a beautiful light and kind of reconnect with a lot about me. And so, like, as much as the anxiety was there with it, I still tried my best to let my intuition lead me. And the anxiety was kind of just like the annoying friend that tagged along, that like uninvited, hanging out in the fucking passenger seat, complaining about everything. Like it was the annoying friend that just had to tag along. I had no option. But that's an example, I guess. I don't know, of me leading with intuition and having anxiety still be present, but just doing my best to show up through the intuition. And it's not to be every time.
I love that. And when you focus on the good things, like, you can also like tell yourself, hey, I've been anxious about this before, and look how beautiful it turned out. Like, what's to say that's not gonna happen again, or even better? That helps me, because anxiety is always worst outcome. It literally comes from fear, and you always are making the worst possible thing. But and this is so much easier said than done, but focusing on the good and thinking about all the beautiful and good things that could come from it, that helps me a lot. And then I'm like, wait, this is going to be great. And if you're thinking about the good, there's a more likely chance that the good will happen. Whereas if you're focusing on everything going wrong, then you're going to be like, yeah, things are going wrong, because that's all you're fixated on.
Absolutely. What you focus on is what's going to present to you. So focus on the good, and focus on your strengths and your capabilities and your capacity to hold what you're being guided to and to show up in it. Let yourself be seen in it, even if it's just by you. Let your intuition lead you, and
and the more you do it, the easier it gets, I feel like. I mean,
it's a practice. That's
hard.
why I said it's like a muscle. You got to build that. You got to practice it and embed it into yourself.
And each like situation is different, so that's why it's hard.
But these are things that have helped me. Oh, and also I will add one more thing that's helped me is having this beautiful girl as my bestie, because let me tell you, there were a couple of times on my trip where I phoned her and I was like, dude, my anxiety is raging. I don't know what to do. And she always helps me see things in the most beautiful perspective. So if you have someone that you trust in your life to help you see the beauty and to help you like navigate through a situation, sometimes you gotta have like that, not me coming in here, this is not me trying to invalidate our last episode by any means, but when your anxiety is raging and you feel like you're on the verge of a crash out, let yourself reach out to a trusted individual who loves you, and maybe they'll give you the reassurance that you need to help quiet that anxiety. Because this girl does it for me every time.
Aw, thank you.
So,
you do the same for me.
It's okay to communicate and like ask people for help in that way.
Yeah, I think like talking to people and getting like that reassurance and like, hey, what should I do? That helps me a lot. I always come to you like with all my problems too. So if you have someone like that who has your best interests,
phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. And even sometimes I'll be saying something to her that I'm just like, I need your advice on this. And as I hear myself speaking about it out loud, I'm kind of like, oh, well, I don't really need your advice anymore. It kind of makes sense now.
Right? That helps me too, just like speaking it out loud, because especially with anxiety, for me, when I get fixated on something, it just like goes in my mind and spirals and loops, like boom, boom, boom. And saying it out loud, talking to someone helps. It like gets it out there.
I feel like when it's all just running around rampant in our mind, it all seems logical to us. Like we are believing everything that our mind is telling us. So we're sitting here with all of these thoughts like, ah. But then you say it out loud and you hear what it's actually telling you, what you're actually telling yourself, and you're like, oh, well, that sounds incorrect. Or maybe that's a little out there. You know,
you kind of start to be like, oh, maybe I'm
because your brain inside is going to want to make sense of everything, but like if you put it to words and you listen to it, sometimes it's just kind of like, oh, okay, I just clocked myself, like,
I do that all the time, and then after I'm like, okay, what anyway.
On to the next slide.
Yeah. And I also wanted to add that while we're trying to decipher the two, anxiety has a loop, but intuition kind of says what it needs to say once, and it's kind of just, it waits. It's not like it doesn't expand and grow bigger, and it doesn't loop around. It's just there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It like comes in like very subtly,
and it like waits almost
and
for you to like.
And sometimes you ignore the fuck out of it, and it comes back in another time, and you ignore the fuck out of it, and it comes back. Listen to that.
Yeah. Trust yourself, because you deserve to be listened to. Your body deserves to be listened to, and it's hard.
It does deserve to be listened to, and your inner self, your intuition is trying to guide you in the direction that is the most expansive and evolving and meant to be for you. So listen to those. And if you are on the verge, you know it's your intuition, you know it's that inner guidance trying to get you to do something, and you're just waiting for yourself to be ready. Quit waiting to be ready. Just take that jump, leap into that unknown, because you're having a feeling for a reason. Go after it and trust it to work out. Trust yourself to handle it. Let the intuition guide you, but know that you have to be the one to take action on it. You have to be the one to put work into going that direction. Into going the direction. Go the direction of your dreams, and your inner self knows. So listen to him.
Yeah, very well said. I love that.
My right British accent for you guys.
You're welcome.
Yeah, welcome to me.
Last thing I want to say is anxiety is rooted in fear, and intuition is rooted in truth. And I feel like that statement itself helps me, because I don't want to live my life in fear. I don't want to make decisions out of fear or out of scarcity. I want to do what is right and what feels right to me.
I'm on the same page. I do too. And also along with that, what the fear, I think that maybe cut like this little part out of me like struggling. Something I've asked myself quite frequently as I go through making different decisions with my life is this opening or closing my heart? And if I am moving with an open heart, it's likely guided by intuition. If I'm moving with a closed heart, it's likely guided by anxiety and fear and doubt. And so, are you moving openly or are you moving closed? And which do you want for yourself? If you've made it to the end of this episode, you probably want to move with an open heart and to live out your wildest dreams, living by listening to your intuition. So these are things that have kind of helped me as of recently, and hopefully they helped you. Hopefully you liked it and picked up a little snippet of information from this. Thank you for listening and joining in.
Yes, thank you guys so much. We love you, and yeah, we're happy to be here.
Super happy, and I hope you listen to your intuition. Okay, bye. I love you.
Bye. Thank you.